Let me ask you a question. If someone gave you $1 million right now, no strings attached, what would you invest it in? Stocks, real estate, a startup, gold, maybe a new business? But I ask you this, and I ask it with absolute urgency. Why not invest it in yourself? Yes, you, your mind, your soul, your health, your potential, your destiny. Because the truth is, and I speak this truth with the conviction of a man who's seen it tested across generations, there is no greater asset, no more powerful return on investment than the return you get from investing in you. Let us pause for a moment. I want you to ask yourself a question, not out of habit, but with burning sincerity. How much have I truly invested in myself over the past year? I'm not asking about money alone. I'm asking, how much belief have you poured into yourself? How much discipline have you committed? How much energy have you channeled into your own personal growth? You see, every skyscraper was once just a blueprint. Every fortune began as an idea, and every transformation begins with one powerful decision: to invest in yourself, fully, deliberately, and without apology. This world will try to sell you the lie that the answer is out there, that someone else holds the keys, that success comes to the lucky few. But hear me now, and hear me well. Success begins inside, not outside. Thomas Edison didn't begin with a light bulb. Henry Ford didn't begin with an engine. Andrew Carnegie didn't begin with steel. They began with a decision to bet on their own minds, their own hands, their own vision. They were their first and greatest investment, and that investment paid dividends the world still remembers. Maybe you've been told that you're not enough. Maybe life knocked you down and made you question your worth. Maybe you've heard that quiet voice whispering, "You can't. You're not ready." But I'm here to tell you something different, something stronger, something timeless. You are enough, and everything you need to succeed is already inside you. What's missing is the decision to say, "This is the moment I stop waiting. This is the moment I rise. This is the moment I invest in me." So today we begin a journey, not into the marketplace, not into the opinions of others, but deep into the mind, into the soul, into the limitless well of power within you. And by the end of this journey, you will walk away with more than inspiration. You'll walk away with direction, with clarity, with the unshakable conviction that you are the key, you are the path, you are the miracle. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to invest in yourself with everything you've got? Not someday, not when it's easier, not when you feel ready, but right now, because the door to ultimate success doesn't open by chance. It opens when you say, "I'm all in, on me. Let's begin." You may not see it yet, you may not feel it, but within you, yes you, lies a wealth greater than gold, a force more powerful than any stock market surge, and a potential so vast, so magnificent, that if fully unleashed, it would stagger your imagination. But first, you must see it. You must come to this eternal truth. You were born rich, not in dollars, not in possessions, but in potential. Every man and woman walking this earth has been gifted a priceless asset, the power of the human mind. Not the kind of power that comes from diplomas or titles, but the power to think, to imagine, to decide, to create, to become. Think about it. Every empire began as a thought. Every invention started with a spark of imagination. Every fortune was first built inside someone's mind before it ever reached their hands. And here's the truth. No one may have told you. You have that same power. The same imagination that built the railroads, that shaped industries, that launched revolutions. It is in you. The same force that drove Edison to light the world, that drove Ford to put America on wheels, that lifted Carnegie from a poor immigrant boy to a titan of steel. It is in you. But let me ask you, have you claimed it? Or have you buried it under the weight of doubt, fear, and hesitation? Because here's what life does. It tries to make you forget. It throws distractions in your path. It clutters your vision with responsibilities, opinions, failures, and noise until you forget that you are powerful beyond measure, that you were not born to just exist. You were born to create. You were not meant to live small. You were designed to expand. But to rise, you must begin by seeing yourself differently. Let me be direct. If you think you are just a clerk, just a driver, just a student, just an ordinary person. You are being lied to, not by the world, but by your own self-image. And as I wrote in The Law of Success, there is always room for you to make yourself more useful, and in that manner more productive, by developing and using your imagination. You cannot build a skyscraper with the blueprint of a shack, and you cannot build an extraordinary life with the mindset of the average. So ask yourself now, what do I believe about my own value? Not what others believe, not what the past says. What do you believe about you? Because if you want the world to invest in you, if you want opportunity to knock, money to flow, people to notice, you must first recognize you are worthy of the investment. You must look in the mirror and say, inside me is greatness. I am capable of more. I refuse to settle for less. Because when you see your value, you'll stop discounting your dreams. You'll stop selling your time for pennies. You'll stop waiting for permission to live fully. And that, my friend, is where the journey truly begins. Now I ask you, have you seen the value that lies dormant within you? Or is it time to dig deeper and finally claim what's always been yours? Because I promise you, the moment you recognize your worth is the moment the world starts responding to it. Let me say this loud and clear. The most powerful asset you will ever own is your mind, not your bank account, not your home, not your car, or your contacts, or your credentials. Because your mind is the engine of creation. It is the command center of destiny. And if properly trained, properly developed, properly invested in, it will bring you everything you seek in life. But if neglected, it will become your greatest liability. Here's a truth most people never fully grasp. You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for the value your mind creates during your time. Think of it, 2 people work 8 hours a day. One earns minimum wage, the other earns millions. Why? Because one has cultivated their mind to solve greater problems, create better solutions, and offer more value to the world. In Think and Grow Rich, I wrote that knowledge is not power until it is organized and directed through definite plans of action. And let me tell you something that every successful person knows, whether they say it out loud or not. You are not paid for effort. You are paid for intelligence, imagination, and implementation. You are paid for how you think. You are paid for the way you approach problems. You are paid for your ability to decide quickly and clearly and act with faith. Now ask yourself this. How much time have I truly invested in developing my mind? Have you trained your thinking like an athlete trains their body? Have you studied your craft like your life depended on it? Have you guarded your mind from the poison of negativity and fed it with wisdom, vision, and relentless belief? Because the world we live in, this modern world of distraction, confusion, and information overload, is not neutral. It is constantly investing in shaping your mind, whether you like it or not. The question is, are you the one in control of your mind, or is your mind being rented out to fear, doubt, and mediocrity? You must understand, your mind is like a garden. If you do not plant the seeds of purpose, focus, and abundance, the weeds of fear, worry, and limitation will grow by default. That is why every successful person becomes a student for life. They read, they reflect, they study ideas, people, markets, principles, and above all, themselves. Let me be practical with you. If you invested 30 minutes a day reading one great book and did that every day for 1 year, that's 182 hours of self-education. That's the equivalent of 4 college courses taught by the greatest minds in the world for free. So I challenge you, start treating your mind like your most important business. What you feed it, what you expose it to, what thoughts you permit to live inside of it. That is what will determine whether you grow rich or stay stuck. Let me leave you with this. Your job is not to hope for success. Your job is to prepare for it with a mind that is sharp, focused, and disciplined. Because when the opportunity comes, and it won't wait for you to get ready. So train your mind now. Invest in your intelligence now. And remember, your income can never grow beyond the level of your thinking. So if you want more out of life, you must first demand more from your mind. Let me speak to the very core of your being. If you forget everything else I say, remember this. Nothing works until you believe. You can have the most brilliant ideas. You can read every book, attend every seminar, and recite every motivational quote. But if deep down, you do not believe you are worthy, If you do not believe you are capable, if you do not believe you are destined for greatness, then all of it will crumble. Because self-belief is not optional, it is essential. It is the invisible force that separates the few who rise from the many who simply survive. Now listen carefully. I do not speak of arrogant pride. I do not speak of empty confidence or loud declarations on social media. No, I speak of something far more powerful and far more quiet. I speak of a belief planted deep within your soul, a belief that whispers, even in your darkest hour, I was born to do more. I was not made for mediocrity. There is greatness in me, and I will not quit until it is realized. But how do you build that kind of belief? Where does it come from? Let me tell you, it is not given. It is not inherited. It is built, one decision at a time. You build belief when you get up one more time than you fell. You build belief when you do the hard thing, when no one's watching. You build belief when you look in the mirror and say, I'm not there yet, but I'm moving forward. That is how giants are born. Not in one glorious moment, but in 1,000 private victories you win over yourself. When I wrote about faith in Think and Grow Rich, I meant applied belief. Faith not as a word, but as a force. As I said, faith is the eternal elixir, which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. In other words, faith is the bridge between idea and achievement, between dream and reality. If you do not believe in your own idea, who will? If you do not believe in your own value, why should the world pay you for it? You must lead the way, not only in what you think, but in how much you believe it. But I know what you're thinking. What if I don't feel that belief yet? What if doubt keeps showing up? Let me speak directly to that fear. Doubt is the enemy of progress, but it is not your master unless you bow to it. Every great man and woman you've ever admired, they had doubt. Edison had doubt. Carnegie had doubt. Ford, Roosevelt, Helen Keller, every giant in history had doubt, but they did not surrender to it. They built something stronger, identity-based belief. So I challenge you today. Decide who you are, and then start acting like it. Stop saying, I hope I can. Start saying, I'm the kind of person who will. I'm the kind of person who finishes. I'm the kind of person who creates value. I'm the kind of person who keeps showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when no one claps. This is not about pretending. This is about becoming. Belief is not something you wait for. Belief is something you train, by action, by discipline, and by the thoughts you allow to live in your mind. Let me offer you a simple but profound truth. You were not born to live on the sidelines. You were not designed to merely watch others succeed. You were not placed here to simply pay bills, play it safe, and quietly fade. No, you are here for a reason. You are here to expand, to create, to impact. But you can only do that if you first stand up and say, I believe in me. Even when they don't, even when I'm tired, even when I've failed, I still believe because I know who I am becoming. And that, my friend, is the moment everything begins to change. The moment you no longer wait for belief to find you, but instead become the source of it. Let me say this one last time so it imprints on your soul. The most powerful words in the English language are not I love you. They are I believe in you. And the most important person you need to hear them from is yourself. So the question is, will you speak those words into your own future? Will you be your own ally, your own fire, your own reason to rise? Because if you do, if you truly believe, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you. Not rejection, not failure, not fear, not the past, not the world. Now tell me, are you ready to build belief with action? There is a lie circulating in the modern world. It whispers to you, success should be easy. Follow your passion, and the universe will take care of the rest. Stay inspired, and success will find you. Let me tell you the truth, straight and unfiltered. Success is not born from inspiration. Success is born from discipline, daily, unsexy, uncelebrated, relentless discipline. In Think and Grow Rich, I wrote, persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. But persistence is not a feeling. It is not a motivational high. It is a decision, a habit, a discipline that is trained and reinforced until it becomes part of your very identity. So let me ask you, what are your daily disciplines? Not what you want to do, not what you plan to do. What are you actually doing, day in, day out? Because your habits are your future in disguise. You see, success is not some event in the distant future. It is not a moment that will arrive with fireworks and fanfare. Success is happening right now in how you handle this moment. It's in the choice between procrastination and productivity, between sleeping in and rising early, between watching another video or writing your goals down and doing something about them. Success is not one big decision. It's 1,000 small decisions made consistently, especially when you don't feel like it. Let me break it down to something very practical. If you read 10 pages of a good book each day, reflect on your goals every morning, execute on just one high-value task before noon, refuse to go to bed until you've kept one promise to yourself, and repeat this for 365 days, you will be unrecognizable 1 year from today. Your habits will have built a new you, a stronger you, a more focused, more valuable, more respected, more dangerous version of yourself. But here's what most people do. They wait for motivation. They chase inspiration. They start things, but rarely finish. Not because they're lazy, but because they've never been taught this truth. Discipline is more reliable than motivation. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation fluctuates with your mood. Discipline remains, whether you're tired, excited, anxious, or bored. So here is your breakthrough idea. You must build systems, not rely on feelings. Set a morning routine that sets your mind on fire. Schedule your priorities, not just your tasks. Create a no matter what list, 3 things you do every day, no matter how chaotic life becomes. Because discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect made visible. When you discipline yourself, you are telling the world, I take myself seriously. I'm not here to play. I'm here to build something eternal. Do you want to know the difference between the average and the extraordinary? It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not background. It is this. Extraordinary people are willing to do ordinary things every single day without quitting. They wake up and work. They read, they think, they train. They keep promises to themselves and stack those victories until their life becomes a monument to discipline. So I ask you, what is the habit that your future is begging you to build? What discipline, if done consistently, would change everything? Is it waking up earlier? Is it eliminating distraction? Is it committing to 1 hour of deep focus every morning? Whatever it is, begin it. Not next week, not when you feel ready. Begin it now. Build the routine, repeat it ruthlessly, and trust the process, even when it's boring, even when it's slow. Because small disciplines repeated with faith become unstoppable momentum. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your disciplines. So rise. Rise with a system. Rise with structure. Rise with a standard. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're not just building success. You're building belief. And belief reinforced by discipline is a force this world cannot contain. Let me begin with a truth that may shock you. Your attitude is your silent partner in everything you do. It either opens doors or it slams them shut. It either lifts others up or it pulls you down. It either attracts prosperity or it repels it with invisible force. You see, every thought you hold, every emotion you allow, every belief you nurture sends out a signal. And that signal, that vibration, is either a magnet for growth or a magnet for limitation. Now, I know what some people might say, but Napoleon, how can I stay positive when things are hard, when I'm facing setbacks, when people doubt me, when I've failed again and again? And to that, I say, a positive mental attitude is not about denying difficulty. It's about defying it. It's not pretending that storms don't exist. It's choosing to steer your ship anyway, with courage in your heart and faith in your hand. It's not blind optimism. It's deliberate mastery of thought. As I wrote in Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, whatever your mind can conceive and believe it can achieve with a positive mental attitude. PMA. Those 3 letters are the difference between greatness and obscurity, between the man who breaks through and the man who breaks down. Let me illustrate this. Imagine 2 people facing the exact same challenge. One says, "Why does this always happen to me?" He gives up. He shrinks. He blames. The other says, "What is this here to teach me? How can I grow from this?" He adapts. He endures. He wins. The same situation, two different attitudes, two completely different destinies. Your attitude is your internal weather system. You can choose to live under constant clouds of doubt, fear, resentment, and frustration, or you can choose to generate your own sunshine by focusing on possibilities, gratitude, lessons, and purpose. No one else chooses your attitude, only you. And every single day, you are training it, whether you realize it or not. Let me ask you, when things go wrong, do you react or do you respond with purpose? When people treat you unfairly, do you shrink or do you stand taller with poise? When the dream feels distant, do you quit or do you dig deeper with passion? Because in every one of those moments, your attitude is deciding the trajectory of your life, often more than your talent ever could. Here's a secret I've learned from interviewing over 500 of America's most successful men. The greats all had troubles, but they refused to carry them in their attitude. Andrew Carnegie was born in poverty, yet he carried the attitude of a king. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, yet he carried the attitude of an inventor. Helen Keller lost her sight and hearing, yet she carried the attitude of a prophet. So what excuse, my friend, remains for us? Let me offer you a tool, something you can begin today. The attitude check. Ask yourself every morning, what am I focusing on? Problems or possibilities? What am I expecting? Setbacks or success? What am I projecting? Fear or faith? And when you feel yourself sinking, shift. Shift with gratitude, shift with perspective, shift with the memory of who you are and what you're capable of. Because attitude is not a talent. It is a choice made repeatedly until it becomes your nature. Now listen to me closely. The world does not rise to meet your needs. It rises to meet your energy. When your attitude is magnetic, your presence becomes powerful. When your attitude is generous, your relationships transform. When your attitude is unshakable, your vision becomes inevitable. This is not theory. This is universal law. You become what you repeatedly project. You receive what you consistently radiate. So, I'll end this section with a challenge. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you check the news, before the world gets to speak into your mind, speak into yourself. Say aloud, I choose strength today. I choose faith. I choose excellence. I choose to carry a positive mental attitude because my future is too important to carry anything less. And then, go live like it. Because attitude is not just how you feel, it's who you are becoming. Let me ask you a question that may redefine your direction in life. Who sits in your circle? Not who follows you, not who tolerates you, but who builds you, challenges you, believes in you when you're on fire. And especially when your fire grows dim. Because I tell you this, as a universal truth, you will not rise higher than the collective expectation of your environment. You cannot fly with eagles while nesting with pigeons. You cannot think like a king while surrounding yourself with slaves to fear and mediocrity. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing the people who influence your thoughts. In Think and Grow Rich, I called it the mastermind, a powerful alliance of minds joined together in harmony, aligned by purpose and driven by faith. The mastermind is more than friendship. It is more than networking. It is the strategic selection of people who sharpen your vision, elevate your standards, and hold you accountable to the greatness you carry inside you. Let me be very clear. Environment is not neutral. It is either multiplying your growth or muting your potential. The people you talk to daily, are they speaking life or fear? The voices you hear online, are they pushing you forward or keeping you stuck? Because even if you are doing everything else right, studying, acting, disciplining, believing, if your environment is saturated with negativity, doubt, and small thinking, it will pull you back like gravity. And here's the danger. It doesn't happen overnight. No. The wrong environment erodes your standards slowly, like water dripping on stone. You start dreaming smaller. You start questioning your goals. You start settling. Until one day, you're no longer chasing greatness. You're defending mediocrity. That is the silent killer of potential. But there is another side. Surround yourself with visionaries, with fighters, with people who speak possibility, and watch what happens. Your energy rises, your thinking sharpens, your execution multiplies, your identity shifts. Because when you surround yourself with excellence, you begin to expect excellence from yourself. So here is your challenge. Audit your environment. Ruthlessly ask, who challenges me to grow? Who celebrates my effort, not just my results? Who refuses to let me make excuses? Who lives with passion, purpose, and discipline, and invites me to do the same? If you cannot name 5 people who stretch your vision, then you don't have a circle, you have a cage. And let me say something difficult but necessary. Sometimes the biggest leap toward your future is made by walking away from your past. Not in anger, not in arrogance, but in love for your own calling, your own purpose, your own becoming. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. And that's okay, but you cannot take flight while dragging anchors. You must choose approval or elevation. Now, don't misunderstand me. This is not about isolation, it's about curation. Curate your inner circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Spend time with people who see greatness in you and speak to it daily. Join mastermind groups, study with the ambitious, break bread with the wise. And above all, become the kind of person that the people you admire would want to be around. Be someone else's iron, be someone else's mirror, be someone else's spark. Because what you give, you will attract, and what you tolerate, you will become. Let me leave you with this. You are not just the sum of your talents. You are the product of your environment. So choose wisely. Surround yourself with excellence and become unstoppable. You want to build an empire. You want to write your name into the pages of history. You want to achieve financial freedom, impact the world, and leave a legacy. But let me ask you, can you do any of that without energy? Can a broken engine carry the finest ideas? Can a tired body execute a brilliant plan? Can a restless, foggy mind maintain razor-sharp focus over time? The answer is no. Because without health, success becomes a burden, and with health, success becomes sustainable. In the Magic Ladder to Success, I declared that sound health is one of the 12 true riches of life. It is not just a nice-to-have. It is not a luxury. It is a foundational asset, a multiplier, a non-negotiable. And yet, so many ambitious people burn the candle at both ends, only to find themselves too exhausted to enjoy what they've built. They sacrifice sleep. They ignore their bodies. They live off stimulants and stress, until eventually the machine breaks down, and they're forced to stop. But you, my friend, do not need to learn the hard way. Let me be practical with you. Your energy is your power, and it is built through discipline, just like wealth. What time do you go to sleep? How do you begin your mornings? What are you feeding your body and your brain? How often do you move, sweat, breathe deeply, and challenge your physical limits? Because I assure you, your income and your influence are tied directly to your ability to sustain energy over time. Do you want to lead others? You must outlast them. Do you want to think clearly under pressure? You must master your nervous system. Do you want to be unstoppable? You must protect your vitality, as if your legacy depends on it, because it does. I am not asking you to become an athlete. I'm asking you to become a high-performance machine. Drink water before coffee. Fuel your body with life-giving foods, not slow-killing poisons. Walk, stretch, lift, move daily. Get 7 to 8 hours of deep, high-quality sleep, not because it's trendy, but because your brain demands it. This is not about image, this is about endurance, because your mission requires stamina. Let me remind you, you are building a skyscraper life, and a skyscraper needs a foundation strong enough to support its own weight. So does your body. What good is money if your body can't travel to see the world? What good is opportunity if your brain is too foggy to recognize it? What good is success if your health steals it away before you can enjoy it? Let me give you a powerful reframe. Taking care of your body is not self-care, it's self-respect. It is a message you send to the universe and to your own mind that says, I value this life. I value this vessel. I value this opportunity. I plan to go far, and I'm preparing accordingly. Because no race is won without fuel, no war is won with a broken army, and no destiny is fulfilled through exhaustion. So today, I challenge you. Audit your health routines. Build habits that energize you, not drain you. Move your body, breathe deeply, rest intentionally, hydrate abundantly. Because every hour you invest in your health is another hour of life, clarity, joy, and performance you gain in return. Let me end this with a declaration, one I want you to adopt as your own. I will no longer treat health as an afterthought. I will honor this body. I will protect my energy because my mission matters, and I need the strength to carry it to the finish line. Let me tell you what separates the daydreamers from the destiny makers. It's not their vision, It's not even their intelligence. It is this one word, execution, because the universe does not reward intentions. It rewards results. And results come from organized, focused, strategic action. As I wrote in Think and Grow Rich, now take the lesson from the world of organized planning and apply it to your desire. Because desire, backed by faith and organized planning, is the foundation of all success. You see, most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they wander, they drift, they try to figure it out as they go. They confuse movement with progress. They mistake ideas for income. But the truth is this: a vision without a plan is like a ship without a compass. You may be moving, but you're lost at sea. Let me ask you, where is your plan? Not just your wish, not a vague idea, not a mood board. I mean a clear, written, strategic battle plan. What do you want to achieve this year? What is your deadline? What are the exact steps, broken down week by week, that will take you there? Because if you cannot answer that with precision, then I don't care how big your dream is. You are not yet serious. Planning is not boring. Planning is bold. It's how generals win wars before the first shot is fired. It's how empires are built, not with emotion, but with execution. But here's the key. A plan alone is not enough. You must move. You must execute daily, not just when you're inspired, not just when it's convenient. Daily, decisively, relentlessly. Let me teach you the secret of the few who rise. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for the perfect plan. They move and improve the plan along the way. You see, perfectionism is the enemy of execution. Waiting until everything is perfect is just another form of procrastination, dressed up as strategy. Clarity comes through motion. Mastery comes through messy beginnings. And momentum? That comes when you decide and act without hesitation. So here's what I want you to do right now. 1. Get clear on your next milestone. Not 10 years from now, just the next mountain in front of you. 2. Break it down into monthly targets. 3. Slice those into weekly missions. 4. Then ask yourself daily, what is the one high-value action I must take today that moves us forward? And do it before the world distracts you, before fear delays you, before your own mind talks you out of it. As I always taught, procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. And it is the silent assassin of greatness. So the moment you finish this message, don't just feel inspired. Get to work. Open a notebook. Make your plan. Put it on paper. Turn it into motion. And keep moving, no matter how small the steps may feel. Because a small step taken today is worth more than 1,000 great intentions never acted upon. Let me say this as clearly as I can. Your destiny is waiting, but it will not wait forever, and it will not wait for perfection. It will only answer those who move forward with urgency and faith. So write this on your wall, tattoo it to your mind. Say it aloud each morning. I am a person of execution. I do not wait. I initiate. I don't just dream. I deliver. And each day, I turn my plans into progress until my dream becomes inevitable. Part 9. Conclusion. You are the asset, the author, and the answer. Let me speak these words into your mind, and may they echo forever. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not waiting for a miracle, because you are the miracle. This entire journey we've taken together, every principle, every idea, every call to action, has not been about becoming someone else. No, it has been about returning to who you've always been. A creator, a builder, a visionary. You are the asset. You are the author. You are the answer. Not your job, not your bank account, not your circumstances. You. Now, the world will try to distract you from this truth. It will offer you shortcuts. It will tempt you with comfort. It will feed you excuses, sell you doubts, and reward your inaction. But you must remember, the path to ultimate success is not lined with applause. It is lined with commitment, the kind of commitment that keeps going after the motivation fades, the kind of commitment that shows up when no one's clapping, the kind of commitment that turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary legacy. So I leave you with this final call, a challenge, yes, but also a gift. Invest in yourself, not just once, not just when it's convenient, but daily, consistently, boldly, deeply, because When you invest in your mind, you shape your future. When you invest in your health, you extend your mission. When you invest in your faith, you become unstoppable. When you invest in your actions, you write your own proof. And when you invest in your attitude, you attract everything meant for you. This is not just a philosophy, it is a strategy for living, and it is how the greats have always done it. Let me ask you, one last time, why not you? Why not now? You don't need a miracle. You need a decision. You don't need permission. You need conviction. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to begin. Because the truth is, everything you're chasing is already within reach. The moment you realize you were the asset all along. So step forward with boldness, with fire, with full belief in yourself, not because it's easy, but because you were born for this. You were born to rise. You were born to lead. You were born to succeed. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe, what you plan, and what you work for. So believe, plan, work, and then receive. The stage is yours. The world is waiting. Now go and invest in yourself like everything depends on it. Because it does.